It's been a very long off-season. Teams have changed, sponsors have changed, colors and all, but one thing that hasn't, they like to mash the loud pedal. Green flag is out on the 2015 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series season.
iRacing is the ideal platform for these broadcasts because we have the best racers, the best online racers in the world, and we have such a variety of racing, from NASCAR to Grand Prix style racing, sports car endurance racing. We do it all.
Since 2010, the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series has been the absolute pinnacle of road racing in a simulated form. Great start then by Yakoda from the front. They're packing up behind number one. They're going to be 4 wide as they come down into turn number 1 for the first time. Will they make it through that first corner? You can see them funneling through the center S's. It looks as though everyone is just about made it through. We have got ourselves some contact though, Rachel.
Side by side going into turns 3 and 4. Humpy's got the advantage with Ottinger's not going to.
Oh, he got into him!
Ottinger gets into the 58, turns right into him, and that ends Ottinger's run.
We do a lot of live broadcasts now. Every Tuesday is NASCAR night, so on alternating Tuesdays we do the Peak Antifreeze Series, and on the other Tuesdays the B-Class Series, which is the Xfinity cars, and sometimes we'll even do some short track racing depending on the schedule. Every other Saturday we do the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series, so the best road racers we have. And we also broadcast some special events, including the Endurance Championship, which is part of the Road Warrior Series. So we broadcast the Daytona 24, the Sebring 12 hour, we'll do the Watkins Glen 6 hour, several other races along there. And then of course the iRacing Pro Racing Champions, which is usually our biggest and most watched event of the year.
That is short track racing, and that's how awesome this sim is, Joe. That's something you see on TV on highlight reels, and we just saw it here, live.
We invite iRacers who are real world racers, and they compete every December. Guys like Alex Gurney, Justin Wilson, Scott Speed, Ron Capps, the list goes on. Really some big name drivers from all major forms of motorsport. It's really neat to see them get together and race together.
See Laughlin up top, down to the ball, gets turned! Laughlin gets turned! Caution is out foul at the front of the field!
The easiest place to find the broadcast is on our website, iRacing.com/live. So you can find some of our races on fanschoice.tv as well. A nice place to find iRacing broadcasts. You can also find it at mrn.com and peakauto.com.
Good evening, sim racing fans across the globe, and welcome to LSRTV on iRacing Live as we get set to count you down to the green flag tonight and start off the 2015-2016 NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series, the 5th edition of the series that brings you right into the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series 2016, and we're glad to be a part of it for the 3rd consecutive season here on LSR TV, and excited to kick it all off right now with 250 miles, 167 laps tonight around the 1.5 miles in the Lone Star State. It's the Lone Star 250 from Techway. We welcome you into the broadcast tower. I'm Jacob Seelman. in the play-by-play chair tonight alongside several of my LSR TV and iRacing Live colleagues. Evan Pasocco, Justin Rosenau going to be joining me here in the booth alongside our driver analyst, two-time NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series champion, Ray Alfalla. We'll introduce you to our pit crew in just a little while, but first, Evan, a very, very deep field for this 2015-2016 Pro Series powered by iRacing.com. And one driver who continues his perfect record in the series, Andrew Fayash, tonight, back for more. He's the only driver to have competed in every Pro Series since its inception.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to be seeing the difference between this season and what we've seen in the past. Texas has kind of become the starting point on this series, and it's a fun racetrack to do it at. And I was talking with Andrew a little bit earlier on, actually yesterday, about this race. He enjoys racing at it, but it is difficult. There's a lot of guys in here, Jacob, a lot of hot guns in here coming in as their first race in the Pro Series. As you mentioned, a lot of guys in Fayash's boat coming in here a couple of times in the Pro Series. There's two very different classes of drivers. They're all out there together, but they're the best of the best for sure.
A lot of names talk about Justin Rosenau. I'll throw you two actually one name in particular that's talented and is back in this field for the first time in a couple of years. The all-time Pro Series wins leader, Chad J. Lawton. He's back for another go-round. Just missed the top 20 cutoff from this year's Peak Antifreeze Series and going to have to win his way back into the series for 2016. He's got the track record to do it, though, too.
Oh, yeah. You know, you're talking about somebody who's been very, very stout in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. So really the one thing you need to really keep your mind on is the fact that Chad Lawton has a chip on his shoulder. You know, he's somebody that's established himself in the Peak Antifreeze Series, and he really wants to come through this edition of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series and really kind of take that next step like Kenny Humpy did last year.
And, of course, I want to welcome in our fourth chair at the table here for this year's edition of the Pro Series on LSR TV and iRacing Live. Again, two-time NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series champion, Ray Alfalla. Ray, first off, good to have you in the broadcast booth with us. And a lot of these guys this season, you have a ticket to the Peak Series already, finished in the top 20 in points this year. Didn't quite get to that third championship, but I know you've seen a lot of these guys in action, and you were talking to me earlier today and said it's going to be a wild 10 races.
Hey guys, yeah, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be up here. It's my first ever broadcast, so it'll be interesting seeing the race from a new perspective, and you know, considering how those last three races went with the dynamic tracks and the Peak Series, it'll be interesting to see what happens here at Texas.
I want to ask you about that because this is something that's really thrown a lot of drivers on the service for a loop the last couple of weeks, just trying to wrap their heads around it and get used to it. I know Texas, definitely one of the tracks that was affected for the better with this dynamic track surface, and it's going to rubber up a lot and change a lot as this night goes on. 250 miles, a long time to go to work here at Texas. What are these guys going to be fighting tonight?
I think from what we saw in the Peak Series is that the track rubbers in a lot more during the race versus just practice. So you should see the groove blacken out quite a bit compared to the guys testing. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a high line at all that comes in and when that will happen.
We're just a little bit away from the session actually going up, and these drivers just now wrapping up their qualifying session. So with that, let's send things down to Kyle Putz with our lap guide and behind the wheel of the Brian Blackford Racing number 12 GTR Simulators Ford Fusion. Take you for a couple of laps to let you know what these guys are going to be dealing with this evening at Texas.
Hello everybody, my name is Kyle Putz, behind the wheel of the LSRTV Ford Fusion test car to take you for a couple laps around the Texas Motor Speedway, the site of the opener for the 2015-2016 iRacing.com NASCAR Pro Series. So, getting out on track here, gotta launch the box best that you can without the wheel spin because of the gearing you're gonna wheel spin. On pit road exit, you gotta keep it down all the way around, it'll get a little loose, you get a little tail happy. Gotta come all the way up, somewhere on the backstretch. We haven't been given that defined point yet. Get up to speed as best as you can. Now going down into turn 3 on the outlap, you can basically flat foot it. It'll slide a little bit, but you want to get up to speed as quickly as you can, especially if you're merging after green flag pit stops. Down the front straightaway. Kind of want to take this all as one corner. It's got 3 parts, but you kind of want to keep the wheels straight. down into turn 1, off at the Texas sign, let it roll a little bit, get back on the throttle about halfway, make sure you clip that seam, get out of turn 2 nice and straight. The straighter that you can be around this track, the better off you're going to be. Tires will save a little bit better, and you'll definitely see those guys on the long run, especially if they start pushing up. So back around the start finish line. I know I missed turn 34 there. I'll get it next time. Once again, off at the Texas sign best that you can. Get it in, get the car in as straight as possible, down to the white line. Keep the nose pointed down the entire time. Off at turn 2 as straight as you can. Now down into turn 3, if you're kind of saving your tires, I'm off at the white line. Try to keep the car pointed down the track. That's the main key, 3 and 4. Turn 4, if the wind's how we predict, it'll make the car get a little tail happy, but that shouldn't be a problem. It'll actually help it turn a little bit more. Back down into turn 1. So after about 35-40 laps, you're going to start seeing green flag pit stop cycle if we do end up going that far. I'm pretty sure we will. So you see a lot of people coming down into turn 3. We're going to make a green flag pit stop here. Try to keep it all the way as close to the white line. You got to get in here as hot as you can on the brakes, hard as you can. Take it to the white cone. We got to get down to 50, so we'll be sliding, we'll be downshifting. Try to get 50 at the line. I was a little easy on that pit road entry. You'll see guys sliding through, but I'd rather be a little earlier than sliding through. All the way 50 miles an hour down, which seems so slow considering we're doing about 200 miles an hour down the front stretch into the pit box. Make sure you don't slide the tires. And that is a pit exit all the way around to a pit entry. A couple things to watch for is the guys burning up the tires at the start of a run. I know since the speeds are so fast, the tire wear is going to be, you'll know those people who are backing off. You'll see people running about half a second off to begin the run, but then by the end of the run they'll be 2-3 seconds quicker. So it should be a fun, exciting race. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really excited to get my first race ever in the Pro Series started, so I hope everybody enjoys.
And we bring you back upstairs, and real quickly, we do want to take you through the qualifications and what allowed these drivers to make this series for 2015-2016. The series opened to any Class A oval licensed drivers on the sim with a minimum 3.0 safety rating, and the 50 driver field for this year's iRacing.com Pro Series powered by iRacing. The top 10 points finishers in Season 1 and Season 2 of the Class A Open Series, plus the bottom 30 drivers from this year's NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, giving you a 50-driver field to compete. The top 20 in points of those will get their license for the 2016 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. 21 to 30 retain their pro license and can qualify for the go or go home positions on the Peak Series grid each week. And the remaining 20, they go home back to Class A and get to try it again next season. And as we've said, a lot of very competitive talent in this field. We'll take you through a few more of them, plus the 43 driver starting grid here coming up on LSRTV and iRacing Live. But first, we're going to step away, take care of a little business, and when we come back, we will get ready to count you down to the green flag here tonight from Texas Motor Speedway. This is iRacing Live and LSRTV, the voice of sim racing.
But here comes Gregor Hutu into Canada corner for the final time. Just 2 corners left to go before he finally makes himself a triumphant return back to victory lane. He has led 38 laps of this event here today, and Gregor Hutu once again is a winner. Gregor Hutu will work himself through the Cobra Parabolica. He will claim his 46th victory in iRacing.com World Championship competition. Gregor Hutu, for the second race in a row, reigns supreme.
The one thing that I think is the most important is we've been racing this Ground Championship Series for quite some time now, a very long time even at that, and he is the only driver to have ever won a professional road race at Watkins Glen.
But there is nothing that could crack that finish number 1 team Redline driver. Gregor Hutu worked himself out the final corner, and just as he did in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, in 2015, Hutu once again wins at Watkins Glen.
Hutu will come across the line and takes the win for round 7 here at Virginia International Raceway.
Here he comes now, just 3 corners left to go, into Brooklands for the final time, into Luffield for the final time. Never ever say that Gregor Hutu is beaten, because he just comes back bigger, he comes back stronger, he wins round number 9 of the World Championship Series, 49th win of his career. If you're the world's greatest sim racing driver, you can do it with your statements on the road courses. Do it when it matters. Out of the final corner for the final time, number 50 for Gregor Hutu, out of the final corner. At the top of the broadcast we said if Hutu could win here today, he could well cement himself as the championship favourite. Gregor Hutu, the number 1 machine, back to victory lane, win number 51. Hutu is inching closer rapidly to his 5th, and yes, I say that correctly, his 5th World Championship. Out of the bus stop chicane comes the number 1 Team Redline driver. Gregor Hutu will win here at Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Yes, you may be behind a computer with a steering wheel and a set of pedals, but for these drivers, this is as close as they may ever get to racing in real life. It will be Gregor Hutu coming past the line. He is a 5-time world champion. Gregor Hutu wins the championship one more time. He is the greatest driver in the history of open wheel racing here at iRacing.com, and dare I say it, he is the greatest open wheel champion in the history.
Welcome back to LSR TV and iRacing Live from Texas Motor Speedway. We're getting ready to roll into tonight's running of the Lone Star 250 from Texas Motor Speedway, the opening race of the 2015-2016 NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series powered by iRacing. Jacob Seelman, Evan Pasoko, Justin Rosenau, Ray Alfala are going to be with you throughout the night here in the broadcast tower as we get set to rock and roll for 167 laps here. One of the most fun racetracks that is on the service in my eyes, Justin. And let's take a look down the starting grid. Tyler Laughlin, Cody Bias going to lead the field to green. For Laughlin, it's his first career Pro Series pole. For Bias, he almost made the top 20 cut in the Peak Series this year and wants to do it again.
Inside row number 2, starting third, the 42 of Dylan Duvall. Starting to his outside in the 4th spot, the 83 of Thomas Davis.
8 of Adam Gilliland rolls from P5. The 39, Michael J. Johnson, outside row number 3.
40 of Joshua Lawton starts 7th. Outside him in row number 4, the 88 of Josh Berry.
Josh Berry, the Xfinity driver. Hill, another Xfinity driver, starts 9th. Brandon Schmidt rounds out the top 10.
11th goes to the 4 of the Plan B Sales. Number 4 of Brian Day. 81, Mitchell Hunt will start 12th.
Team UE Vonen, who won a race on the road, to go 13th. Trey Eidson, 14th tonight in the 6th.
Billy Price in the 15th spot in the 7th. 16th goes to the 31 of Sasha Wessler.
Greg McKinney and Alex Warren on row number 9. And Bose, who won in the Peak Series this year, Rob Ackley round out the top 20.
21st, Brandon Hoff, 91, and Shane Doherty in the 22nd starting spot.
Behind them, Andrew Fash, Dylan Rafferty.
Damon Burnett, Ryan Lowe, 25th and 26th.
Alex Scribner, Benjamin Burmeister, Danny Hansen, who was in the Peak Series this year. Dylan Jones rounds out the front 30.
31 through 35, 93 of Byron Daly, Jacob Harbers in the 54, 25 of Joey Israelson, 37 of Stephen Gilbert, and through the rest of the field, as they scroll on your screen, you will see names like Justin Trombley, Ryan Borges, Nick Furler, and the rest of the gang at the back of the pack. And to take you to the green will be LSR TV's Jacob Seelman.
Thank you, Justin. And for all of you who are tuning in tonight on LSR TV and iRacing Live, we welcome you once again to Tech Motor Speedway. It's the opening race of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series, and we're proud to present it here on LSR TV and iRacing Live for the 3rd straight year. The pace car heads for pit road. Tyler Laughlin in the Monster Energy Chevrolet on the gas, and we are green in the Lone Star State. Laughlin and Bias slot in quickly, single file, 51-27. That's the way they ride into turn number 1 for the first time. Thomas Davis slots in 3rd from that outside lane.
Michael J. Johnson, and I do believe the 40 of Joshua Lawton going wheel to wheel now, getting into turn number 3. Josh Berry in the Speedco 88 going to stick his nose in there. The 39 of Johnson going to shut the door on the 88 of Berry as everybody goes single file out of 4 for the first time. Leader of lap number 1 will be that Monster Energy Chevrolet of Tyler Laughlin.
And let's keep in mind, Justin, that Josh Berry, not only does he have on-track experience in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this season, he was the inaugural champion of this iRacing Pro Series back in 2010. Of course, they ran the K&N cars for that first season, but Berry definitely knows how to get it done. He's been at the pro level a lot, and that Speedco 88 looking to get to the front, already up to the 8th position.
One driver already on the move. It's going to be the 12th place starting car, the 81 of Mitchell Hunt. He's gotten around a couple cars already, cracking up inside the top 10, and that beautifully painted number 81. Working on the 3 of Brandon Schmidt just ahead of him, but he's got to worry about the 4 of Brian Day beating on his back decklet as the field files through turns 3 and 4. Now for the 3rd time and onto the front straightaway, the 81 of Mitchell Hunt going to start to drive away for the 4 of Brian Day.
And Ray, I want to ask, as we see the top 2, the 51 of Laughlin and the 27 of Bias, start to pull away just a little bit. Early in the run, not a lot of rubber down. These guys, you can already see they're slipping and sliding a little bit. They're searching for grip, and there's really none out there.
Yeah, it can get pretty loose on corner entry. I was running a few laps earlier, and it can get pretty hairy on corner entry. And right now you're seeing basically drivers trying to settle into a groove, although some drivers like to be more aggressive than others at the beginning of the race, but right now everything seems pretty single file, and they're just kind of getting into a groove. And see what they have in their setup.
Of course, just as we say that, for the lead, headed for turn number 3, the inside of Tyler Laughlin. He'll grab the top spot, coming to the line, 5 laps of 167 in the books this time. And that was a power move. The 27 says, I want to lead this race, and he really didn't give Laughlin a chance to argue with him. He just went inside and said, bye-bye.
Yeah, Cody Bias, new member of the team, and he's going to make that team's presence known here in the early stages of the iRacing, NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. He's already pulled out about a 4-car length gap, a battle right behind them, ensuing for that 4th and 5th spot. Adam Gilliland in the 8 going to take it away from the 83, I do believe, and that's really going to be a little bit of trouble there, as I do believe now the 83 appears to be possibly a lap down, now cycles back into the 5th spot.
Yeah, Thomas Davis having a few issues early on, but hanging on inside the top 5. And Justin, you were talking about the Bias's transition over there. That actually began at the beginning of this NASCAR season. And Ray, this was one of the biggest stories leading into this season when Cody defected from the team that he started, moved over with Kevin King and the guys from the team. And that organization really was on point so much of this season. We watched Kenny Humpy steamroll to the championship. Cody had speed. Justin Bolton, who's locked into the Cup Series, had speed. This is nothing new as we've seen in the pro levels over the course of this year.
Yeah, for sure. Cody was very strong all season. He had a few incidents at the end of the races, and that's why he didn't make the top 20. And I think he also missed the race late in the year. But it's no surprise to see him running up near the front. The guys in the team are all very strong, and they all have very good cars. And so I'm not surprised at all to see Cody leading early.
We circulate under green. Tyler Laughlin, your race leader early on, falling back now. He's just lost that runner-up position to the 42 of Dylan Duvall. Duvall got by him the last time by, and Laughlin starting to fade a little bit. And to try to get a little bit more from pit road now, we want to welcome in our 2 pit reporters tonight. Andy Kessler, Brian Macklin down patrolling the action tonight from the pit lane. Andy, we'll start with you.
That's right. Welcome, everybody, to the first race of the season for these pro drivers. And tonight they're going to be talking a lot about tire. Tire wear is going to be huge here. You're looking at about 35 to 40 laps on tires. If they conserve them well and we get some cautions, they could go upwards of 50 laps. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Green flag stops, of course, are always going to be important here at Texas, getting slowed down and getting down to that pit road speed limit. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, and I think the big story about tonight, like you said, is going to be the tire wear. We've seen now that we have this new dynamic surface that saving your tires and not making the mistake of overdriving the tires is the key to getting to the front on a long run. And already we're starting to see we're 12 laps in. This is going to be a long run race. Texas typically is here in the iRacing Pro Series, and you're going to see that throughout the course of the night. And the guys that save their tires and manage their car throughout the race are going to be the ones that come to the front at the end. We see Cody Bias leading right now. The question is, in 30 laps, if they're still under green, is he going to be there?
And we'll continue to keep an eye on this from the plane and here in the tower over the course of the race. Andy and Brian, they have additional analysis as this race goes on. Justin, starting to watch this battle for third now. I mentioned a minute ago, Tyler Laughlin really starting to fall back in that Monster Energy Chevrolet. Adam Gilliland closing in now in the gmercer.com entry. He wants that 3rd position.
Yeah, he certainly is closing the gap. I was just watching a battle for the 8th position. Brandon Schmidt and Michael Johnson are really trading paint with each other, and Schmidt had to back out of it. Falls back behind the 81 of Mitchell Hunt, and 3 of Brandon Schmidt going to go back around with the beautifully painted Intimidator-style scheme on that number 3 is the Brandon Schmidt machine. Got his sights set once again on the 39 of Michael Johnson, but looking back up towards that 3rd spot. Tyler Laughlin in that Monster Energy Chevrolet is either lost a little bit of early run speed, or he's starting to try to conserve a little bit more. It's going to be more of a strategy call, I think, on the part of Tyler Laughlin, because he is no stranger to running up front and even doing quite well in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series.
Indeed, he's been on the Pete Series trail for the last couple of years. In fact, Ray, I believe, was part of a kind of hairy finish at Daytona International Speedway back in February, a race that you ultimately ended up winning. And coming down to the finish, and it just didn't quite work in the Pro Series. Trying to get it done and get back there again come February.
Oh yeah, that race was pretty crazy at the end. I was trying to help Tyler get to the lead, and unfortunately hooked his bumper, and he ended up flipping, and I ended up winning. So, I've been on the opposite end at Daytona, and those things happen, which is why he was very understanding of it. But yeah, pretty crazy memories.
Yeah, I had the tandem reverse. February was a little bit ago, but now he currently rides third behind Dylan Duvall in the 42. Cody Bias, your race leader, in the 27. Bias leading the way for the team, and that's no new sight. We've seen that happen all year long, and it continues into this first round of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series from Texas Motor Speedway. Bias on point. We'll be back with more from the Great American Speedway right after Motor Speedway. This is iRacing Live and LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Welcome back to iRacing Live and LSRTV, co-presenters of the 2015-2016 NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series, powered by iRacing. Round one from Texas Motor Speedway currently sees Cody Bias of the team out in front in the 27. He's got about 3 car lengths over the 42 of Dylan Duvall. Pole sitter Tyler Laughlin of the Monster Energy Chevrolet rides third. Josh Lawton in the 44th, and Josh Berry's Speedco machine now has moved to the top 5 and is rapidly closing in on those front 4. He's one of the big movers of this race so far. But Justin Rosenau back in 12th place, a driver that you and I were keeping our eyes on during the commercial break. The 21 of Alan Bowes just got around the 1 of Timmy Hill, who's fallen back to 14th. Hill back as Bowes on the rise. He's up to 12th.
Bowes, a rookie in the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series, making a very good effort in his very first start. Already +7 and starting to gain on the 3 of Brandon Schmidt, who lingers just outside the top 10 as the 4 of Brian Day gets around the 3 of Brandon Schmidt. That gap starting to close between Schmidt and Bowes. It's going to be roughly 5 car lengths now out of turn number 4 as they come across the stripe this time by to put 22 in the books.
Already 22 laps into this race, it had a very green flag feel here early on in the night, Ray, and you mentioned it to me a minute ago. This track's starting to rubber up, getting pretty dark already in the corners, which means we're starting to lay down rubber, get some grip, and that's really helping some guys here. The 40 of Josh Lawton among them, he's knocking all over the back deck with the 51 of Laughlin for third. Yeah, that's what I've been looking for, is for the groove to rubber up, and actually we lose grip when that lane gets dark like that, so I'm waiting to see if people try the Highline. Looks like Alan Bowes might be trying it a little bit up here in 1 and 2, but still a parade around the bottom as of now. But the groove is definitely getting darker, and it'll only get slicker from here. And it's really counterintuitive, isn't it? The fact that we talk about it getting slicker as you lay down more rubber, but it's not inhibited Cody Bias at all, who leads the way. But we just saw Justin a pass for that third position. We were watching Josh Lawton a minute ago. He gets by the 51 of Tyler Laughlin. He almost brought the 88 of Josh Berry with him. That's a battle for fourth on the back straightaway.
And that battle's heating up as Barry looks to the inside of Laughlin, and Laughlin's going to shut the door on the 88 of Josh Berry. Barry's going to have to settle for that fifth spot as they work now out of turn number 4, coming around this time by 25 laps in the books. Barry looking again to the inside of Laughlin. The Speedco Chevrolet looking inside that Monster Energy Chevrolet, and he's got a nose on the rear quarter panel of the 51 of Tyler Laughlin. And Barry now up to the top 4. Barry on the march here in the early going.
I believe that's what you call a slide job on pavement. Barry come right across the nose and didn't give Laughlin a chance to get back to his quarter panel. He said, "I'll take that spot. Thank you very much." And Josh Berry continues the march towards the front. Now 1.4 seconds behind race leader Cody Bias, who took the lead at lap number 5. And we're continuing to see this 51 fall a little bit through the field. Andy, any word on the 51? It just doesn't look like he's happy with the race car right now.
So far, all I'm hearing off of his team radio currently is that the fact that the tires just they missed something in the setup right here off the beginning on the short run. They're hoping to make a couple of small adjustments when they do get to get down pit road. Hoping for a caution, though, so they don't lose too much ground. But that 51 definitely waiting for their first round of pit stops, trying to hang on.
You know, we talk about this Texas race in both the Racing.com Pro Series and the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, Ray, being a largely green race. This isn't a track where you tend to see a lot of cautions until maybe the very end of the race when you get a couple in quick succession because people are scrambling for spots. I mean, how tough is it to balance needing to make adjustments, giving up that extra little bit of time on pit road, especially if you've got to pit under green, and knowing that track position here is so crucial?
Yeah, I mean, even though as a fan, you want a lot of action on the track, most drivers will tell you that they want green flag racing. And the race here a couple years ago went green all the way in the Peak Series, so I expect this to go green quite a bit, and now we're actually starting to see drivers use the middle lane, so that's pretty interesting, and maybe they'll move even higher up as the race goes.
Track is widening out, and it's making it very, very interesting. It's also making for a few battles back in the pack. Just had a battle going on for about the 24th position a lap ago, and want to head back into the middle of the pack. The 66 of Benjamin Burmeister back in a hornet's nest, wheel to wheel, back about the 25th position.
2 wide, 2 rows deep. The last row Motorsports entry of Burmeister working to the inside of the Rafferty Designs number 18 of Damon Burnett. And those two going wheel to wheel once again. Got to watch out for that 33 just in front of them. Excuse me, the 32 of Danny Hansen is the 18 of Burnett. Going to go way high, almost up to the fence now in turns 1 and 2. Almost gets pinched into the fence by Burmeister as these guys really in a big battle in the hornet's nest in the middle of the pack. And wisely, I think the 18 of Burnett goes way up high to avoid much more contact. Is the 77 of Fayash going to work now to the inside of Burnett as they cross the start-finish line.
Danny Hansen's actually making me a little bit nervous right now in that number 32 machine. Hansen, one of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series drivers that had to drop down for the Pro Series, the NVIDIA entry, and now he goes side by side as Burmeister takes a look to the inside. Hansen wisely gives way, put the 66 of Burmeister up to the 23rd position, and now looking for another spot as Ryan Lowe takes a peek and tries to slam the door. Not going to happen. It will actually, Justin. Lowe got a really good run off turn 4. I didn't think he was going to get there, and now Burmeister again back to the inside. This is a 6-car Hornet's nest.
Yeah, throw a blanket over these guys here from about mid-pack on back, and really Burmeister going to try to do what he can. He's making a lot of ground. Started 26, fell back a little bit. Now up to the 21st spot now coming out of the corner. And the Burmeister's machine is on the move, along with the 77 of Andrew Fayash. Kind of fell back a little bit there, trying to ride out the opening stages there. Slowly starting to work his way through the pack once again. And also right behind them now the 18 of Damon Burnett, trying to claw back some of them positions that he lost as well. As everybody tries to get single file now as we start to look back towards the front of the field. Battle possibly for second shaping up.
Battle for second shaping up, but we also had the first of our front runners head to pit road. Brian Macklin, Adam Gilliland was just in front of you.
Yeah, Adam Gilliland, this is a scheduled pit stop, 4 tires and fuel. He decided to short pit a little bit here, see if he could get an advantage on the tires and gain some track position on the race leaders. We do have some trouble on pit road entry. The number 18 machine had an issue coming on to pit road and is going to have to try to gather himself back up here. But 4 tires and fuel for Adam Gilliland, and he's back out on the track.
Yeah, we were just talking about Damon Burnett, and that was all the way up the entrance of pit road. Andy Kessler, what did you see?
Yeah, down here on my end of pit road, he just came in too hot off of the corner, got down on that flat, tires worn, tires are hot, got into something, spun out, hit the cone coming down on pit road. So trouble for the 18, Damon Burnett, early on in this race.
Where's the orange cone on Twitter when you need him? I know he's not orange in iRacing, but the cone has been attacked for the first time tonight. We're only 36 laps into this race right now. Again, we've had our first couple of takers on the pit lane, but up front it's been all Cody Bias for the team. The 27 continuing to lead the way, and now we're starting to watch as Adam Gilliland's back on the racetrack on fresh tires. Justin in the 8, you see how much fresh tires mean as he goes 3 wide through turns 1 and 2 to pass some of these guys that are on older tires. He is making some dicey moves right now.
Got to get what you can get while the getting is good, especially if you're trying to race your way back through the pack, and he's the first car 1 lap down, and he wants to try to keep it that way as he goes high, wide, and handsome around the 1 at Timmy Hill. He's going to try to knife his way back through the pack, but as several drivers are starting to cycle around on pit stops, he's got a lot of work to do, and he's got to make sure that he goes absolutely to the limit for that number 8 G. Mercer Toyota as you go on board Gilliland as he almost gets back into the number 22 machine. That was a very close call for that fast track Toyota right behind him.
Ray Alfalla, he's through this field like a hot knife through butter. He's 10 miles an hour faster than the rest of the pack on 35-lap old tires, and it's unreal some of the moves he's making right now. At the pace he's going, by the time everybody else pits, he may well be the leader.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to watch, and this is when the wrecks happen. This is when, it's basically turns into a multi-class race out there with drivers running 3 seconds off the pace of others coming out of pit road. So this is what you got to watch out for, is drivers just basically running out of room, and some drivers don't even see you in the mirror when you're coming that fast. And Adam already ran into, I think, a couple people, just on accident. So look out for a yellow soon if on green flag stops.
You got to be really careful. He's already driving around the 88 of Josh Berry, who is second place driver. He's coming up on Cody Bias, and this would actually be to unlap himself. I said if he kept his pace up, he would be the leader by the time everybody made their green flag pit stops. I'd say that may be a fair sentiment. Lap 39 goes on the board, and Adam Gilliland in that gmercer.com machine unlaps himself back on the lead lap. Cody Bias still your leader by about a full second over Josh Berry in the Speedco 88. Benjamin Burmeister in, Brian Macklin in front of you.
And Benjamin Burmeister also in, 4 tires and fuel, another scheduled pit stop, looking to try to get the car just a little bit better. He's really been loose on this long run here, trying to get the car to tighten up just a little bit, looking to get back out there and have a shot at it.
Andy Kessler, leaders in.
That's right, the 27 of Cody Bias is now coming his way down pit road. Started from that second spot. He's got a pretty good pit stall right now. Slides into his box. No problem there. Great stop for him. Tyler Laughlin just in front of him. Also the 42 on pit road. So 3 guys right here, right now. Right sides go up. Left sides go up. 4 tires. Fuel. Minor adjustments for a couple of these guys. 51 taking a big swing at it, though. They're all off pit road.
How about the race off pit road, Justin Rosenau? Cody Bias in the 27 barely edges out Josh Berry. He slides out. They've got to wait before they can blend back into the pack. But Bias for the team moving forward. Dylan Rafferty assumes the lead, but we know that will change as this field cycles through near 4 wide, headed for turn 3.
Dicey move by the 27 of Cody Bias as the 88 of Josh Berry has to kind of dodge the car that was just behind him. He almost got a piece of that as well, the 91. I believe with Shane Doherty almost get mixed up in a bit of that as well. So you're going to really see these forward fresh new tires really start to take effect. Berry looked to be faster there just before the leaders came to pit road. So Berry in the Speedco Chevrolet number 88, he's got a car that can possibly win this if it can hang in the sights of the 27 of Cody Bias.
taking a look at the replay when Bias was coming off pit road, and Ray, you talk about gutsy moves, but you talk about scary moments, and that was almost disastrous for the race leaders. Bias was there, Barry was there, and they were all but 4 wide down the back straightaway.
Yeah, this is what I was referencing to earlier. You know, this race seems very tame, and then they start making pit stops, and you see the difference in the tires. The drivers, we've wanted this fall off for so many years, just because it does things like this, not necessarily because of the crazy speed difference, but just the strategy and the cars losing handling, and you can really do more as a driver. And you're starting to see the field shuffle during green flag stops. It's pretty exciting to watch.
It's been wild so far. We're barely a quarter of the way through this race, working lap number 45 right now, as Ryan Borges in the 98 heads for the pit lane. Danny Hansen's 32 is your race leader over Justin Trombley, Jason Ducobi, Adam Gilliland, Mitchell Hunt, the top 5 right now. You got to know, though, the 27 of Bias back up inside the top 10, and he smells blood in the water. He wants to get to the lead, but Gilliland's fresh tires, you talk about short pitting. And Andy Kessler, the 8 of Gilliland, did that to perfection. He built a 12-second lead over Cody Bias because he pitted so soon for those fresh tires. He was maybe 2.5 seconds faster a lap than the rest of these guys, and now he's gonna be out front.
He will be out front once these other guys that are kind of maybe playing fuel strategy right now, like the 32 of Danny Hansen. But yeah, definitely the tires, we talked about it earlier, makes a difference here. 2-3 seconds, like you said, per lap. So obviously that's showing up here on this first round of stops with Adam Gilliland holding such a huge lead over Cody Bias. So we'll see how things shape up here in the later going, though, as obviously the 8 car is going to have to pit a lot sooner than everybody else for the rest of this race, as long as it stays green. But for now, that 32 is staying out for a long time.
Yeah, and Hansen's going to lose the lead here in a minute when Adam Gilliland gets to him on much fresher tires, Justin. But the guy that I'm really keeping my eye on right now is he makes the lead here with 48 laps complete. Gilliland to the top of the board. Hansen going to fall in line, and before too long, they're going to be headed back. Already we're about halfway through a fuel run.
Yeah, as we're coming around this time by to put 49 in the books, lap 50 going on the board of 167, the distance here in the way of laps, 250 miles here at the Texas Motor Speedway, the great American Speedway that it is. And Adam Gilliland, he really got that advantage, but at some point he's going to have to pay the piper, and really this track so abrasive and so hard on these Goodyear Eagle tires, and really it's going to be a matter of how long and how well can Gilliland really take care of those tires after putting on a little bit of an acrobatic driving show there coming up to the pack.
It really has been wild to watch so far. 50-lap benchmark coming up on the board this time by as Gilliland finish line. Let's reset the top 5 as they run. Gilliland, your leader. Mitchell Hunt to second. Alan Bowes to third. Josh Lawton fourth. And Alex Warren in fifth now as the 32 of Danny Hansen. Andy Kessler finally makes his way to pit lane.
Yeah, he does finally make his way to pit lane, and 4 tires, fuel, some more adjustments going on to that car. He had a pretty decent run. The crew chief was saying, obviously the time was a lot slower than our leaders because of how long he took to pit. So we'll just make a note here of this one, pitting on lap 51. We'll have to keep an eye on that 32 as this one goes on. He obviously can stretch the fuel very long. Tires not going to play a factor for him. Right now he'll be faster than these guys, but he's going to be a lap down.
Now, the big question is here, and Ray, I want to turn to you on this because we look at this, and there's a wide variation of when these guys made their pit stops. You saw Gilliland make it prior to lap 40. You saw Bias just before lap 50 here, about splitting the difference, maybe lap 45 or so. And a lot of those guys, you're looking at an extended stint on that third and final pit stop. We think it's going to be a 3-stop race if it goes green like this, but a guy like Danny Hansen, if he can stretch it 50 laps at a time, you're talking he's only going to have to pit with maybe 17 to go, roughly. And you talk about maybe a 2-tire stop to steal something, take on a little less fuel. I'm not sure if I like the strategy yet, but boy, if we go green for a long time, maybe try to replicate the feat we did in the Peak Series a couple years ago when we went green all 167, Hansen could be sitting in a pretty decent position here.
I don't know about that. I think he waited too long to pit. If he wanted to make it on 2 stops, he had to go all the way to 56, which I think he could have, but he saw that he was losing too much time. So essentially you have guys pitting a lap 42 or lap 33 or 34. That's a 3 or a 4 stopper. I think the 3 stopper is probably the best way to go, but the 4 stopper might be close if it goes green all the way. The 2 stopper, you just lose too much time. I mean, Danny right now is 42nd, and he's faster than everyone else right now, but he's way too far back to really make up any ground.
He's a long way back. We still have a long way to go. 112 laps remain here at Texas Motor Speedway. Gilliland, Hunt, Bowes, Lawton, Bias, the top 5. Then it's Alex Warren, Josh Berry, Dylan Duvall, Trey Hudson, and Ryan Lowe, who has worked his way, Justin, from 26th to 10th. Really solid run for the driver of that 38. He talked to me earlier today and thought that he was going to have a pretty good piece for this. Just wants to put the memories of this past NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series behind him, get back to basics, doing a solid job in the top 10 right now.
Gonna have to do it the hard way. He's got a lot of faster drivers that he has to outrun tonight, and doing quite well on some pit strategy here in the early going. Got himself again up to the 10th spot, but right behind him, the 83 of Thomas Davis, really starting to close the gap on him, and he's going to try to relegate him outside the top 10 is the 38 of Lowe, along with the 83 of Thomas Davis. Davis now to the back bumper, looking to the inside out of turn number 4, going to go wheel to wheel with him on the front straightaway right now. Thomas Davis going to crack his way back up into the top 10 as he started 4th and now climbs his way back inside the top 10.
We got one driver drop back through the field. I think maybe problems, Andy, for Jeff Ramsdale. He was running around the outside of the top 20 now, though really falling back through the field in a hurry.
Yeah, he is. He's actually going to come down pit road this time. Might be an unscheduled stop. We'll have to check with his crew. They're going to change all 4 tires, get fuel back into that machine. Doesn't look like any damage on the car, but definitely missed something right there. Might have had some sort of mechanical issue for the 92, but he's down and away. Not too much time on pit road, so the 92 back out on track.
And it's little mistakes like that, Justin, that we talk about here, and continually just one of those deals where you can't beat yourself, but you also don't want to have things out of your control take you out of a shot to have a solid finish. And that's a battle and a very fine line that these guys are going to be fighting through these races. It's not a very, very long season. We're talking about 9 races here, and before you know it, we'll be done.
Yeah, basically it's what you basically alluded to. It's the blink of an eye, and in the blink of an eye, really you're going to find yourself from going into next year's edition of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series to wondering what might have been quite easily, especially if you're outside the top 30 in points. And really, that's one mistake, but the one mistake isn't going to kill your season. I bet if you make 2 or 3 mistakes, then you're going to have to really wonder what might have been. So there's mistake number 1 already in race number 1. And as I say that, we have a swap now at the front of the field. And Mitchell Hunt in that 81 is really going to take the top spot away from the 8 of Alec Gilliland, who's already fading now on these older tires. The 32 with Danny Hansen going to unlap himself as he gets around the second place car, the 21 of Alan Bowes, who's really climbed up to the field, 19th to 2nd as they run on the racetrack right now. But Cody Bias in that team Chevrolet, the team on board that machine as well, going to run his way through the pack, bringing the 40 of Joshua Lawton with him once again. With the 88 of Josh Berry, it's kind of deja vu all over again as these drivers starting to work their way back up to the top 3 as it's just Gilliland, Bowes, and Hunt right ahead of them, and Bias really closing the gap now on Gilliland.
It reminds me of an accordion, Ray, almost, the way these guys on so many different pit strategies just come to the front. to the back, to the front again on these tires, and it's all about how you manage them, and we're starting to see these guys who pitted a little bit later come back to the front. You see Bias knocking on the back deck lid of Gilliland for third, and we know he's been conserving a little bit the start of this run, only going as fast as he needs to because he knows he's going to catch these guys. It's not a question of if, it's just, when he decides he's going to get there.
Yeah, I'd say Cody Bias is first in class, I guess you could say. He's got the freshest tires and the most fuel up here, so unless a yellow comes out, he's really stretching out his lead, I think, over the other guys that pitted around lap 40 like he'd lead.
Yeah, he's got about 5 seconds on guys like Alex Warren, Tyler Laughlin, Thomas Davis, who pitted around him. And, Josh Berry really is the only driver, Brian Macklin, that has stayed with that 27 all race long. And it's been mostly quiet on Berry's radio. Seems pretty happy with that race car, even if he's not saying too much about it.
Yeah, that's actually been the story of the night for the number 88 machine. He has not talked at all on the radio about his car. Very happy. No changes on that last pit stop. Just 4 tires and fuel. Get back out there and go after it. He believes he's got a car that can contend with Cody Bias at the end of this race. If he's up there with a shot at it towards the end, he's going to give it everything he's got, and he's going to try to win this race.
And it's not surprising, a 2-time winner in this Pro Series prior as we go 3 wide. Tyler Laughlin on fresh tires. We got a couple other drivers who are making pit stops. That is the 92. I caught the front end of it, and it was green, Justin, and I thought it was Laughlin for a second, as it is that 92 machine powering right around these race leaders. And again, Jeff Ramsdell, he was 2 laps down. He goes to 1 lap down now, and he's just trying to fight back from the problems he had, because that's really all he can do at this point.
Yeah, and that really caused a problem for the 21 of Alan Bowes, who went from second all the way back to 5th, and that kind of allowed the 27 of Cody Bias to go 3 wide underneath everybody, and Josh Berry kind of took advantage of that. Right now on Bias's back deck lid as we have a battle for the lead up front. The 81 of Mitchell Hunt going to get past this time by out of turn number 2. Cody Bias now to the inside. Going to bring the 88 Speedco Chevrolet of Josh Berry along with him. 40 of Josh Lawton also as well, looking to the inside of Mitchell Hunt. He's going to go from 1st to 4th in about half a lap as Bias now assumes the lead, but he's got a rear view mirror full of Josh Berry now as Berry wants to lead and looks to the inside across the stripe.
Going on board with the 88 Speedco Chevrolet of Josh Berry, the junior motorsports driver in late models and the NASCAR Xfinity Series, trying to make it happen here tonight at Texas. And Ray, he's not necessarily pushing the limit too far, but he's definitely let Bias know that he's there. You want to put enough pressure on a driver, and you don't want to say maybe knock him out of the way, certainly, but you do want to put enough pressure on them that they make a mistake or you force a mistake, and maybe have that give you the advantage as opposed to just coming right up and trying to move them or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't see Josh or the 2 Joshes actually. Josh Lawton back there as well is on the same strategy as Cody. So those guys are all essentially, I would say, battling for the win at this point. And yeah, as you were mentioning, as a driver, you want to go as fast as you can while taking care of your tires, and that's where it can get pretty complicated, because you can save a lot of tires and then lose a lot of spots, and then you'll never gain those back, or you can go really hard and then burn your tires up. So you got to find that balance.
Adam Gilliland coming off road and back up to speed, but we got a battle at the back half of the top 10. Justin, 39, Michael Johnson, 83, Thomas Davis, and the 4 of Brian Day now getting into this mix as they're battling and scrapping around that 7th position. Everybody wants it. They're all going for the same real estate.
Yeah, the 83 of Thomas Davis kind of made a mistake as the 8 of Adam Gilliland flew around everybody along with the 12 car. I'm going to have to get a name on him in just a second, but a lot of these guys that just come down pit road, like the 21 of Alan Bowes as well in the picture, is kind of jumbling things up here the back half of the top 10 as everybody scrambles to try to safely get around everybody or let everybody by. Now the 4 of Brian Day sets his sights on the 39 of Michael Johnson. The 4 of Day looking to the inside out of 4 once again. Not going to quite get there as he's still about a car length from the back deck lid. He's got the 81, of Mitchell Hunt now on fresher tires working through this pack as well. Race strategy says that, it works for about 15 laps or so on these green flag runs as these guys are passing quite a few cars coming up on fresh tires, but Jacob, I really have to think, are you really giving up a lot, especially to the faster cars like Cody Bias and Josh Berry, and do you really have to hope to trap them one lap down and win?
I think you really do. I think that's about the only option that you have, as Josh Berry now under attack. And you see, the guys with these fresher tires, Alex Warren, the 82, powering on through to make it by and gain one of the 2 laps. He was down to the leader's back. Damon Burnett in the 18, also among the drivers on fresher tires. And Justin, the driver you mentioned a moment ago, the 12 of Kyle Putz, 1 lap down, riding 31st. And here comes Gilliland. Thought about shooting the middle to get by the 88 of Josh Berry. Now he'll go to the high side, power around, power past Cody Bias. Gilliland back to the lead lap. Problem is, he's in 27th, and with 75 laps complete, he's still got a long way to go. We've seen this ebb and flow all night long. Pit stops and tires, those are the keys at Texas. But so far, we've gone 75 laps. Green flag racing. Cody Bias, your leader. Josh Berry, Dylan Duvall, Tyler Laughlin, Brandon Schmidt. The top 5, as we've got a battle for the lead in turns 1 and 2. Berry to the outside, Bias to the bottom, and Josh Berry wants the lead. I think he's got it.
Barry Dunn just took it away. He went the Earnhardt line around Texas. He took it high, wide, and handsome. He said, you're not going to give me the inside? Well, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way, the hard way. Around the outside goes the Speedco Chevrolet of Josh Berry. He's going to assert himself by about 5-6 car lengths now at the front of the pack as his pit run is starting to come to a close. So Berry really showing that late run speed that we've seen in the first run. So as the longer these green flags keep staying out on the racetrack, Jacob, I really got to think Josh Berry has a legitimate chance to unseat the team member of Cody Bias.
Well, he's been able to go to victory lane in the Pro Series before. 2-time winner in this series from 2011 to 2014. Berry out in front. Bias, Duvall, Laughlin, Schmidt, your top 5. We're 78 laps in at Texas, and we've got more ahead from the Great American Speedway. You're watching iRacing Live and LSRTV, the voice of sim racing. Stay with us. And we welcome you back to iRacing Live here on LSRTV. The first round of the 2015-2016 NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series for oval track drivers here on iRacing. And a 1.5 mile track in Texas that's been very treacherous, but so far tonight has been all green flag. As we welcome you into the broadcast tower, Jacob Seelman, Justin Rosenau, Ray Alfala in the broadcast booth with Brian Macklin, Andy Kessler down on the pit lane tonight, closing in on the halfway point of this race, about 5 laps from it. And Justin Rosenau, since we are close enough to that halfway point, I say we take a look at our LSRTV midway race break and go through the full field rundown. That Speedco machine, I'll amend that. We'll go through the full field rundown after we cycle through because, of course, just as I say that, the leader, Josh Berry, headed for the pit lane. Andy Kessler.
That's right, the 88 coming down pit road now to get service from his crew. Having a great, strong run so far tonight. Car's been definitely a good balance. That's what he's saying over his team radio right now. Not much changes for these guys, maybe a small air pressure adjustment. 4 tires and fuel for the 88 machine. The 39 also coming in this time by. The 25 completed his service, so all good right down here on pit road. The 88's going to head back out on track.
Are we surprised at that Josh Berry was actually the one to tip the scale, Justin? I mean, in a way, I think it kind of forces everybody's hands right here, especially Cody Bias. He does not want to give up too much time to that 88.
Yeah, really, as I do believe Cody Bias down on pit road. Andy Kessler, he's right in front of you.
Yeah, he is down on pit road right now. Just came into service. Didn't want to let the 88 out there too long on these fresh tires. He's going to get 4 tires fuel. No adjustments on that car for this time. They're very, very happy with that car right now as he heads back out on track. Brian, you got something for us?
Yeah, Timmy Hill right now is out on track. He's trying to stretch the fuel as long as possible, trying to see if he can maybe make this where he can go just one more stop after this one here. He's going to try to stay out here as long as possible. Actually, his crew is calling him to pit road right now. He's been a little unhappy with the car tonight. It's been very free on corner exit. He's looking for an answer to that, looking for his team to maybe tighten this car up a little bit as he's getting ready to come down onto pit road now. We expect 4 tires and fuel for the number 1 machine here. He's coming on the pit road, and we're looking to see him get a good stop and get back out there.
Yeah, Hill trying to make something happen as Adam Gilliland powers to the point with 85 laps complete. So we are now officially past that halfway point and got a few cars left to cycle through pit stops. But Justin Rosenau, let's try this again and go LSRTV midway race break here. Take a look at this full field rundown because Gilliland in that 8 machine out in front. Alan Bowes second. Mitchell Hunt is third. Greg McKinney fourth and Timmy Hill fifth as Gilliland loses the lead to Bowes. Josh Lawton is sixth. Ryan Lowe seventh. Kyle Putz eighth. Andrew Fash ninth. Dylan Rafferty 10th.
91 is Shane Doherty, 11 for Brian Day, 12, 6 Trey Eitz, and then run 13, 14 goes to the 7 of Billy Price. And as I say that cycles back around. 14 goes to the 88 of Josh Berry, 55 of Nick Ferber, 15, 42 Dylan DeVal, 16th, 27 Cody Bias runs 17th, 18th to the 23 of Brandon Hoff, 51 of Tyler Laughlin runs 19th, and rounding out the top 20, the 82 core pipe entry of Alex Warren.
Behind Warren, Danny Hansen, 21st. Rob Ackley, 22nd. Brandon Schmidt, 23rd. Michael J. Johnson, the final car on the lead lap in 24th. Team UE Vonen, a lap down, 25th. Justin Trombley, 26th. Byron Daly, 27th. Jeff Ramsdale back up to 1 lap down. He's 28th. Blake Bryant, 29th. Sasha Wessler, 30th.
31st to the 66 of Benjamin Burmeister. The 1 of Timmy Hill rides 32nd, 1 lap down. The 03 of Dylan Jones going to ride 33rd, 34th to the 19 of Jason Jacoby. And Jacoby moves back behind the 37 Gilbert, who just leapfrogged at 34. So 36 goes to the 18 of Damon Burnett. 25 of Joey Israelson runs 37th. 38 goes to the 98 of Ryan Borges. Andrew Fayash cycles around to the 39th spot on the racetrack. 40th goes to the 14 of Robin Williams. And that's going to complete your top 40.
Final cars on track. Everybody's still on the racetrack. Alex Scribner, Paul Kashiba, and Jacob Harberts. Those are your 43 drivers that started tonight's race, and everyone's still in competition here at Texas Motor Speedway. That's a look at your iRacing.com full field rundown here with 89 laps complete. iRacing, the leader in motorsport simulation. I mentioned it while we were going through the full field rundown. Brian Macklin, Adam Gilliland losing the lead to the 21 of Alan Bowes. And I'm not so sure if it's not that he's disappointed with his race car or not happy with it right now, if it's just the fact that those tires, again, he's on a little bit different cycle than everybody else. And it's kind of hard to tell who's going to be good when because everybody's on such vastly different tire strategies tonight.
Yeah, this strategy by Adam Gilliland has him way off sequence from the rest of these guys. He gets to take off like a rocket when he comes down and pits, when he's pitting because he's got about 25, 30 lap fresher tires than everybody else. But when everybody else comes down pit road, it's about 15 laps later than him. So now they have the advantage, and they just blow him away on the longer run. He's done a very good job, though. He's maintained himself in the top 5 and top 10 all race long, and Who knows how this is going to work out? We heard Ray earlier talking about possibly a 3 or a 4-stop strategy. It looks like Adam's on a 4-stop strategy, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this works out for him.
Ray, are you seeing anybody that's on a 4-stop strategy maybe have a shot at this? Does Gilliland have a prayer here?
Oh, it seems to be Alan, Mitchell, and Adam. Top 3 right now are on a 4-stopper. And, I mean, Josh Berry's 15 seconds back, but he's catching, let's see, this last lap, he caught them by over a second. So if it stays green all the way, you might see it to where they have like half a lap lead on Josh, but then he'll just run them back down and pass them with, 10 laps to go or whatnot. So, but still, it's still a long way to go, and, everything, if the caution comes out, everything's going to change, and they might just start crashing every 3 laps.
Oh boy. 93 laps go up on the board. We've been green all the way. That leaves us, though, with 74 laps to go as Barry coming through the field up to 8th on fresh tires. He is working through traffic, about to go around the 6 of Trey Edson. Gonna take that spot away and move to 7th. Next on the hit list, Brian Day in the 4, and then he's going after the top 5. The problem is Barry's still about 13 seconds behind race leader Alan Bowes, who leads Mitchell Hunt by just about 2 car lengths, Justin. And this is a battle that really has not quit. Mitchell's been right there on the back of him. He hasn't shown him his nose just yet, but he's there, and Bowes has to know it.
Bowes does know it, and he's really doing everything he can to try to keep running fast laps. It's about a 1 second a lap difference right now between the 21 of Alan Bowes and the 88 of Josh Berry. Mitchell Hunt right there running about a half a tenth faster a lap right now. So that battle for the lead right now really heating up as they run on the racetrack. But as the 81 of Mitchell Hunt looks to the inside, Bowes going to give him the inside now, turns 3 and 4, and Hunt not going to get there out of turn 4, but Alan Bowes running as best as he can in that RER Chevette-sponsored Toyota, and really, Bowes running a masterful job trying to search around for grip on the racetrack as his tires start to wear down.
You're looking off the back lid of the 21 of Alan Bowes. Mitchell Hunt is right there, and I mentioned that Mitchell hadn't shown him the nose yet. He just showed him the nose. He says, okay, I'm here, I want the lead, and I was really shocked that Bowes gave him the bottom of the racetrack. He's been really good through the middle, but I didn't think he would just move up like he did and give Mitchell really what I consider here at Texas the preferred lane, and Mitchell almost used it to get alongside him.
Going on board the 81 of Mitchell Hunt, looking up ahead at the 21 of Alan Bowes, and I want to take the opportunity. Ray Alfalla, is this a case of Alan Bowes trying to search around on the racetrack for grip because of the new dynamic track, or is it really he's just trying to do what he can to allow Mitchell Hunt to get by without slowing himself up?
No, he's definitely not letting him by. He's looking for grip, and he's found some grip up in turns 3 and 4. He's actually pulling Mitchell a little bit, and if anything, it also just distracts the driver behind, because all of a sudden you see that bottom lane open up, and you might even overdrive it because the car is not there. And then you pay for it on exit. But right now, I see Mitchell's trying the middle. He's trying to see what Alan has found up there and see if that works out for him.
Whatever it is, it's working a little bit, but it's not working really well because he really can't cut that gap. It still sits at about a quarter second, like it has for the past 7 or 8 laps, working lap number 100 this time by. This race really flying by. 67 to go. 100 miles remain of the 250 we started this race with. When we get back to the line, now Hunt up top side working traffic as the 32 of Danny Hansen coming through on fresh tires, and Bowes, Andy Kessler headed for pit lane.
Yeah, he's heading for pit lane. Time for service at 23. Just in front of him, coming down pit road also. So coming from the lead, Alan Bowes now coming to pit road. Loves the car, loves the way it's handling. He was searching for some grip on that high side. He found a little bit of it. Doesn't want too much of a change here. The crew's going to go around, change all 4 tires, put some fuel in that thing. Minor adjustments for the 21, but very happy with this car tonight. Hunt's coming down pit road also, the 81 now. He doesn't want the 23 to be out there too long, or 21, excuse me, to be out there too long with those fresh tires. So here comes Mitchell Hunt now to pit road. He's going to come to the service of his crew. He noticed that he had some speed on that bottom side. He doesn't mind being down there. He likes to be able to get that car to turn off the corner, get some speed coming up. He's going to come down, get his 4 tires, get fuel, head back out on track. No changes on the 81.
And that's going to cycle the lead through, Justin, back to the 88 of Josh Berry, and it puts the 27 of Cody Bias back up in the mix now. He's only 3 seconds back of Berry, and you start to see how this battle changes as 88, 42 of Dylan Duvall, 27 of Cody Bias now running those top 3 spots. Those are the guys that are on a little bit different strategy here. We talked about this ebb and flow, and we're continuing to see that once again. Now Adam Gilliland in a dicey moment as he was going to shoot the middle as Mitchell Hunt was coming off pit road, had to be forced to the bottom and almost got into the back of the 81 of Mitchell Hunt. So that was a little bit dicey for the number 8 machine, as now these guys with fresher tires are going to have to work their way back towards the front of the field, and here comes Hunt working around Cody Bias.
And Hunt comes flying around the 27 team machine along with the 8 of Adam Gilliland around the Cody Bias machine. You have to wonder, did Josh Berry's car crew make the wrong adjustment on that machine, because he was around 1.8 seconds gain between his pit stop the last time and where he's at on the racetrack right now, and he actually moved it up another 2/10, so back to the 1.8 since the pit stop, because the gap was 1.2 when they come down pit road last time by Jacob. And really Josh Berry showing that, okay, he's just working his way, letting the faster cars go by at the moment. So Berry still looks like he has a faster long-run car, because, like I said, between entry and exit of pit road, he found about a second and then driven away another 0.8 of a second.
105 laps going up on the board this time, Ray. Do we know yet which strategy is going to work here? I mean, the problem with this is we still got 62 laps to go as you watch Hunt and Gilliland go by the 88, the race leader of Josh Berry here, and I'm not convinced that we really know which of these strategies is going to work out. It may not be till about 15 or 20 laps to go before we really understand how this is going to play out and who made the right call.
Yeah, I was very confident with Josh Berry's 3-stopper earlier, but I mean, Alan Bose came out right behind him off pit road, and now he's stretching him out, and he might even take the lead here before Josh comes down to pit road, or at least cut the lead down quite a bit. So once everybody's done with their final pit stop, I think we'll get a much clearer picture. And of course, that's the big if it stays green all the way.
It is an if, and as it stays green, it's been green since the outset. And Josh Berry, the North Carolina driver for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Junior Motorsports in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, he leads the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series, powered by iRacing. The season opener in Texas, he's looking for his 3rd series win. 108 laps go in the books this time. We'll be back to cover his pit stop here in a couple of minutes. Right now on iRacing Live and LSRTV, you're watching the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series on the voice of sim racing.
It's been a very long offseason. Teams have changed, sponsors have changed, colors and all, but one thing that hasn't, they like to mash the loud pedal. Green flag is out on the 2015 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series season.
iRacing is the ideal platform for these broadcasts because we have the best racers, the best online racers in the world, and we have such a variety of racing, from NASCAR to Grand Prix style racing, sports car endurance racing. We do it all.
Since 2010, the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series has been the absolute pinnacle of road racing in a simulated form. Great start then by Yakoda from the front. They're packing up behind number 1. They're going to be 4 wide as they come down into turn number 1 for the first time. Will they make it through that first corner? You can see them funneling through the center S's. It looks as though everyone has just about made it through. We have got ourselves some contact though, Rachel.
Side by side going into turns 3 and 4. Humpy's got the advantage, but Ottinger's not going to.
Oh, he got into him!
Ottinger gets into the 58, turns right into him, and that ends Ottinger's run.
do a lot of live broadcasts now. Every Tuesday is NASCAR night, so on alternating Tuesdays we do the Peak Antifreeze series, and on the other Tuesdays the B-Class series, which is the Xfinity cars, and sometimes we'll even do some short track racing depending on the schedule. Every other Saturday we do the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix series, so the best road racers we have. And we also broadcast some special events, including the Endurance Championship, which is part of the Road Warrior series. So we broadcast the Daytona 24, the Sebring 12-hour, we'll do the Watkins Glen 6-hour, several other races along there. And then, of course, the iRacing Pro Racing Champions, which is usually our biggest and most watched event of the year.
That is short track racing, and that's how awesome this sim is, Joe. That's something you see on TV on highlight reels, and we just saw it here, live.
We invite iRacers who are real-world racers, and they compete every December. Guys like Alex Gurney, Justin Wilson, Scott Speed, Ron Capps, the list goes on. Really some big-name drivers from all major forms of motorsport. It's really neat to see them get together and race together.
See Laughlin up top, down to the ball, gets turned! Laughlin gets turned! Caution is out Fowler at the front of the field!
The easiest place to find the broadcast is on our website, iRacing.com/live. So you can find some of our races on fanschoice.tv as well. A nice place to find iRacing broadcasts. You can also find it at mrn.com and peakauto.com.
Welcome back to LSRTV and iRacing Live coverage of the first race of the 2015-2016 NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series here on LSRTV, the voice of sim racing, and we've seen a lot of ebb and flow tonight. Josh Berry, former NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series champion, former two-time winner in this series, currently leads the way in the Speedco number 88 Chevrolet SS. Ray Alfalla, a driver analyst, two-time NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series champion. We know he's going to make what we presume to be his final pit stop here coming up in a couple of laps, and you have it just about mapped up, or at least you think you do. We think he's going to make the pass for the win, about 6 laps to go, maybe?
Yeah, it might be with more laps to go. Yeah, I've been doing some quick math here, and I think Josh is going to pit here in the next 5 laps for his final stop. And just with how the timing is going, it looks to be like Alan Bowes will have the lead up until maybe 10 laps to go. But that's all very easy here. If like I said earlier, if it stays green, if the yellow comes out, then I have no idea what's going to happen.
I don't think any of us do, Justin. I mean, I think we're all still sitting here blown away at the fact that we're now sitting with 117 laps complete, and we've been green the entire way. Not since 2 years ago in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series have we seen a race go green all the way, and it was at Texas as well. It's been wildly fun to watch, but at the same time, you don't want to blink or you're going to miss something.
And that's exactly it. And I'm sitting here watching the battle between the 88 of Josh Berry, the 27 of Cody Bias. These two, the fastest on the longest runs all night long. Cody Bias leading very early. Josh Berry has been leading through the middle stages of the race. And really, Cody Bias has cut that gap back down. 2.3 seconds is the difference. Remember, it was 1.8 when they came out of the pits. And then the gap has increased somewhere around half a second to where they are on the racetrack right now. But Bias steadily closing that gap. So I don't know if Berry made the wrong adjustment on the last round of pit stops. But it really remains to be seen. Can his crew make that home run change to send that Speedco Chevrolet to victory lane? Or is the team going to turn around and dominate just like they did the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series? Can they turn around and start off race 1 and end it on a high note?
He's closing in for now, and partially that is because traffic is playing a huge role right now in slowing Josh Berry down. 3 wide up the middle as Berry trying to hang on. He goes to the bottom. He's letting everybody get out of the way right here, and I'm telling you, it doesn't get too much more chaotic than this. Shane Daugherty's going by right now. You've got Paul Koshiba back there trying to get back on the lead lap, and Josh is helpless here, Ray. He's a sitting duck on these older tires. We know he's going to be on pit road soon. There's just nothing he can do but try not to get taken out by one of these guys when they come through like a hot knife through butter.
Pretty much, but I think, him being the leader kind of, the driver code has been a lot in the talk in what happened in the real world at Martinsville, and then, the driver code in sim racing as well is you basically, if you're a lap car and you're lapping or you're unlapping yourself, you take care of the leader. You take care of lead lap cars in general. So mostly Josh just has to run a predictable line, and then they'll get by him, hopefully, without any issue.
It's been no issue so far, and this time by it'll be 45 laps to go. Justin, we keep watching this 88 machine stay out. Andy Kessler, any word? Has he made any indication as to when he might be down on pit road? I know Timmy Hill's ducking that way right now.
Yeah, they're talking about it. They're trying to figure out the exact strategy of when they want to come out, when they want the maximum amount for their fresh tires, and when they can get their most speed and make up the most distance that they're going to need to make up once they make their pit stop. So it looks like, they're calling them in now. A little slip up there in the entrance, able to blow it down though. The 88 coming down pit road now. Josh Berry making his stop here on lap number 123. So looking to go the rest of the way right now. Obviously very happy with the car. Doesn't expect any changes on this car right now. We haven't heard them talk about any, but 4 tires, fuel for that one. The one machine right behind him just came out of his pit stall, so Timmy Hill's back out on the track. The 88, 4 tires of fuel, and I believe the 27's coming down to you, Brian.
Yep, Cody Bias just made his way onto pit road right now. He's also looking for his final pit stop of the night. 4 tires and fuel. They need a clean stop, no mistakes, no errors. They still think they have a shot to win this race. They need a little bit of an adjustment to tighten this car up. It's been very free all night long, and they're still looking to try to fix that. He's hitting his pit box now, looking for 4 tires and fuel once again. The pit crew's over the wall going after it. They're trying to get him out as quickly as possible. They know that this is essential to his chances to winning the race. Right sides are down. He's got the left sides up now, about to get away, waiting for the drop of the jack. He's down and away, 4 tires and fuel. Back out onto the track and back up to you guys. Jacob, it looks like he's going to get back out there and have a good shot at this thing.
He's going to have a great shot at it right now. Comes out in front of the 81 of Mitchell Hunt. So all he's got to do is get around the 21 of Alan Bose to be back on the lead lap here and wait to see when it cycles on through. He's going to have 42 laps to go this time by working through traffic. Ryan Borges has just been down on pit road. Timu Ivonen has been down on pit road, and Barry trying to squeeze to the outside of Alex Warren, another one of our former NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series winners in this field. Barry through and clear, and this is the time you gotta go. He unlaps himself right there, Ray, on Alan Bose, so he's back on the lead lap. He's got to come 29 seconds, though, to get him again.
Yeah, but Alan Bose is not done pitting. That's Alan's biggest problem. He's got to go as fast as he can here. And unfortunately, I think it's a losing battle. He just doesn't have the time to essentially keep a good lead, pit, and then run Josh back down.
It's a little bit reverse, I think, to what we were originally going to see happen here. We thought Josh Berry was going to be the one that was chasing, but I think as this next cycle has finally started to reveal itself, Justin, now we're going to see it may actually be the 21 of Alan Bose that's the chaser, and Josh Berry trying to hold the lead over this final stint.
That very well could be, but you have to keep in mind the 27 of Cody Bias, 1.7 seconds the gap when they came on pit road. The gap now some 2.5 seconds between the 88 of Josh Berry and the 27 of Cody Bias. You have to really hope that Cody Bias has a clean and green track ahead of him to really kind of make some ground up on them 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles, and really that 27, the team entry, really going to have to really dig deep and really go to gut check time, because he ran about 1.3 seconds off before the pit stop from where his longest gap was. He's really got to hope that Josh Berry encounters a lot of traffic like he did the last time to really aid him trying to get back up towards that potential battle for the lead.
We go on board with Cody Bias as he's trying to work around the 42 of Dylan Duval. That battle right now for the 14th position on track. We think it's going to be a battle for the runner-up position in the final standings, though, before it's all said and done. Josh Berry up to 12th now, 25 seconds behind your race leader, who currently is Alan Bose over Adam Gilliland by about 6 seconds. No contest there. Berry just worked by Alex Scribner a lap ago. some of these guys, you've made your bed, you got to sleep in it. Alan Bowes 6.3 seconds ahead of Adam Gilliland right now. That's the battle for the lead. But again, the battle everybody's watching is the 88 of Josh Berry trying to cut through traffic.
And does so with ease, I might add. And Ray Alfala, I want to point this out. Cody Bias digging deep to cut the gap around 1 second. Is Cody Bias wasting his tires right now as we're coming around to almost 30 to go? Is Cody Bias on the gas pedal a little bit too hard?
I don't know. I mean, Josh has been in traffic, and it's hard to say whether Cody's going too hard right now or not. You know, he could have more pace, or we'll know laps, of course.
Adam Gilliland in for what we believe is going to be his final stop. He got 4 tires and fuel down and away. He's looking to take advantage of these fresh tires and get out there and try to chase these guys down. He's not going to have a lot of time, but he thinks he can get the job done.
Berry to sec now.
Second or more per lap is going to be the difference between the Speedco 88 and the 83 Amp Energy Chevrolet, as Thomas Davis gets woed up and coming down on the pit road for his final service for his 4-stop race. So Josh Berry going to assume the race lead at the stripe. That Speedco Chevrolet entry going to be ahead by just 1 second over the 27 of Cody Bias.
And the question now tonight, Justin. The 42, though, has driven a very quiet, very solid race. He is, started third, has run there every time Berry or Bias has been out in front. He's been right there in the mix all night.
Yeah, Dylan Duvall started strong, faded a with Dylan. Duvall's got a battle with that number 23 on the racetrack, as he's a lap car with some damage right now, but he's got 4 fresh tires. That's Brandon Hoff.
Track. If he can get on the loud pedal, as you like to say, Justin, and get there. The gap was 0.8 of a second. It's now up to 1.
Racing the guys on older tires like Berry and Bias. Really, it could be a role reversal if you think about it. So really, the 21 of Alan Bowes, 13 seconds in arrears. It could really end up being a 21 V88 or 27 kind of race as we start to wind down, as we're almost 25 to go this time by.
Want to update problems for the 54 of Jacob Harberts. He has fallen almost 30 laps down. Had to make a visit to pit road earlier in the race, and he's still
taking care of his tires. And when you have a 1 second lead as a driver, and when the tires are this, that's huge. You can basically just run as fast as you can and run. Well, right now there's about 5 cars trying to unlap themselves, and that's his issue. And if he makes it through this, that's a big if.
Ackley, Johnson, Evonen, and Laughlin, your pole sitter, round out the top 10 as they run in lap number 145. Alan Bowes, 10.8 seconds back of Josh Berry. He's got 22 laps to get it done.
Just sitting there noticing lap times last time by, 1 second difference between the 88 and Josh. Coming done.
It's all about, can you get there? He's trying to do it. Alan Bowes stole a NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series victory. I believe it was at Pocono earlier this year, and now trying to steal on strategy a Pro Series win at Texas.
He is looking like he can get it done. 9.2 seconds the last time by. Coming around this time by, 20 laps to go. So he's going to need less, just under a half a second a lap to get there. And really, that's, the old adage goes, Jacob, getting there is one thing, passing him is going to be another.
It really is, and that's the key here as we close in on the finish of this race. Berry, Bias, Duvall, still your top three. And we still don't know. Alan Bowes is coming. It's down to 8.6 seconds.
You know, Alan Bowes up inside the top five, got around the three of Brandon Schmidt there just a few laps ago. Got his sights set on the 81 of Mitchell Hunt, who has his hands full with the 91 of Shane Doherty. So Bowes really driving the life out of that car is Mitchell Hunt in the 21 of Alan Bowes. Both guys on fresher tires, but Bowes is coming quicker. And really, you have to wonder, can either the 81 or the 21 steal it away from the guys that have been up front all night long?
You know, Ray, we were asking ourselves how this strategy was going to play out. Now we know. Alan Bowes, the chaser, Josh Berry, trying to hold it down for another, this time by, it'll be 18 laps to go, so just under 30 miles. The problem is, I just don't know that he's got enough left in those tires to be able to make it happen. It's 7.4 seconds as Bowes moves to fourth around Mitchell Hunt. We've seen this play out a few times in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series before. One of the battles that sticks out in my mind at Atlanta a year or so ago, Michael Conti versus Thomas Lewandowski, and old tires won on that day, but it was close, and I'm not sure that Josh Berry has enough in those older tires to make it happen tonight.
Yeah, one of the most difficult things Alan Bowes is facing right now is staying focused, because he knows, you know, his spotter or his crew chief is probably telling him that he's way faster than the leader, but he's still 7 seconds back, so he can't see Josh at all right now. So, you know, you may have a tendency to overdrive and want to get there quicker than you know, physically possible. So right now he's pretty much just got to put his head down and not even look at the timing and just know that he'll be there, you know, in a matter of 10 or 15 laps.
He's getting there. Question is, can you pass him? Catching him's one thing, Justin, but passing him's another. And we've seen this play out before. Older tires, you'll start to run that defensive line. The problem is that was before this build with the dynamic track surface, and now I'm not so sure that you can do what we've seen these guys do in the past and back up the corners, run that defensive line to be able to hold a guy behind you up, because you can actually use two grooves around this racetrack, and that may be what wins Bowes this race.
Well, that remains to be seen. He just took half a tenth off the last time by. I think Bowes' tires are starting to give up a little, and he's got to worry about getting around the 42 with Dylan Duvall, who's some 3 seconds ahead of that number 21 RAR Chevette sponsored Toyota. And really, you have to wonder, Dylan Duvall put up quite a good fight to the 27 of Cody Bias. I highly doubt Dylan Duvall is going to lay over for the 21 of Alan Bowes, who is a rookie now in the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. So Bowes has a long road to hoe. Took another half a second off. It's inside of 15 laps to go. It's really going to be anybody's guess. Can he get there in time?
He's trying to get there. We've got 13 laps to go, this time by the stripe for Josh Berry. Cody Bias now is only 0.7 of a second back. He's closing the gap a little bit. Berry's got to be worried about that just a little bit too, Ray, because when you get somebody that's fighting for a win in your rearview mirror, you can't help as a driver, I know, but at least look up and know, okay, that's where he is. The problem is that takes your focus away from the job at hand.
Yeah, these are the 12 longest laps ever right now for Josh, and he's been in this position before. You know, he's very experienced, and you know, likely is that he won't mess up, but still, right now for him, you know, he just wants the laps to be over with, and it's not a matter of, you know, if a yellow comes out, it's not any better for him, because then pit strategy will come into play. So right now, Josh just needs to focus, and you know, if Bowes gets there and just blows by him, he can't do anything about that, but he has to be aware for Cody Bias, who's on the same tires as him, and protect that spot.
You're protecting crucial. We said it at the top of the show tonight. The top 20 NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, the top oval racing series on the iRacing service, and former winner right now have prior experience at that top level, Justin, and you can't help but think that in these closing laps they've been in this position before.
Yeah, they've been in the position before, so everybody really in shape to try to do very well and try to establish themselves as the clubhouse leader from the start. Cody Bias now inside of one car length now out of turn number 4 as we're inside 10 laps to go here at the Texas Motor Speedway. He's there. He's knocking on the door. He may be looking to the inside of the
Bose is going to get there. It's 2.6 seconds between the 21 and the 2 leaders. Bias to the inside, coming down to lap 159. It'll be 8 laps to go this time. New leader, Cody Bias.
No get there. Gap is 2.2 seconds, but time's running out for the driver, that number 21. Does Barry hold off the 21? Does the 21 get around him easily? It's anybody's guess. We have ourselves a dandy of a finish coming up, folks. It's going to be anybody's guess. Bias certainly holds the cards right now, but is Bose going to reveal a royal flush here as we come down to the finish?
7 to go. Andy Kessler, I just heard a roar, figuratively speaking, from that 27 pit. They're thrilled with this turn of events.
Yeah, they are. They knew they had to get some sort of gap between themselves and the 21, and what better way to do it than to get ahead of the 88 Josh Berry. The tire strategy, obviously the long run for Cody Bias is going to take advantage of him right now. He's only been able to pull out a little bit, but this pit crew down here is pretty excited, but they know it's not over yet.
All right, Ray. It's really fallen off what Alan Bose has been able to make up. It's down to 0.3 a lap, and at that pace, he would get around Barry for second, but he won't have enough to get to Bias. He would come up about a car length or 2 short. We're 5 laps to go this time. If you're Cody Bias, what are you thinking?
I'm not sure what I'm thinking. I know if it was only one car that he had to catch, he could possibly do it, but he has to pass Josh, and that won't be easy because their pace is close enough to where it won't just be an easy pass. So I don't know. I'm on the edge of my seat just like you guys.
A 10th and a half that time by. It's 1.5 seconds from Bias to Bose. We talked about 3 stops versus 4 stops. Bias trying to do it in 3. Bose trying to do it in 4 stops. He may run out of time. We're 4 laps to go, Justin Rosenau, as the leaders work through 3.
Leaders work through turns 3 and 4. 4 laps to go this time by across the stripe. Bice just checking out by a country mile is starting to be as it's 0.6 of a second. You can pretty much kiss this one goodbye as Alan Bose tires really starting to fall off right now. 30.5 for an Alan Bose lap versus a 30.686 for your leader Cody Bias. Bias really setting sail now. Going to be 3 laps to go next time by at the stripe. Bice has got this thing clinched minus a caution flag.
Well, a caution flag at the point would clinch it for him because it would end this race. 3 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line. Bias, Barry, Bose, that's the way they run. The gap is 1.1. Barry's falling away, and I'm telling you, Cody Bias is looking like a man who's going to win his first pro-level event tonight. He's never done it in the Peak Series. He wants to do it in the Pro Series tonight. 2.5 laps from home.
2 laps to go next time by for your leader. Cody Bias gets around the number 37 lap car. That's going to be, I do believe, the Stephen Gilbert machine. Very wounded on that car. Lots of front end damage on that machine. 2 fingers in the air. Double popsicle sticks for your leader, Cody Bias. 0.8 of a second at the stripe. No worry about what's behind him. All he has to do is navigate traffic cleanly for 1.5 more laps for Cody Bias to punch his ticket to get himself 1 step closer to getting back to the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. White flag in the air out of turn 4 for Bias.
He sees that, and that's a sigh of relief for the driver of the team, number 27 machine. Cody Bias was talking to me before this race started. He said he's thought about this moment for about the last 2 years. He wants to get it done, and down the back straightaway for the final time, he's gonna get it done because nobody close enough to make it happen. First career pro level victory and the maiden NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series win for the number 27 as he works to the flag. Cody Bias is gonna do it. He goes to victory lane at Texas, wins the Lone Star 250. Final margin at the stripe, 0.9 of a second over the 88 Speedco machine of Josh Berry and Alan Bose. He could see the leader at the end, Andy Kessler. He couldn't get there, though, and for Cody Bias's crew, that is a happy bunch right now.
Yeah, they're all jumping off of the pit wall right now, just loving the way this season has started off for the 27. A great win, a solid win, good pit strategy all around, great changes, no mistakes from the driver, and in the end, he comes out with the victory.
I heard the words "burn it down" over the radio. Perhaps an appropriate sentiment. Bias burning out on the front straightaway. His first career pro-level victory in any oval series, the Pro Series or the Peak Antifreeze Series. And the dominance, Justin, for the team continues. Kenny Humpy wins the Peak Championship, and now Cody Bias off to the fast start in this NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series.
A fast start. You have to wonder, can he duplicate his teammates' performance from last year? Kenny Humpy got the best winning percentage of all in the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. 44%, 4 wins and 9 starts for Kenny Humpy last year. But enough about Humpy. What about the performance that Bias just put on, as he's still lighting them up on the front straightaway, giving the fans a big show in that Infinite Creative Solutions, the team Chevrolet on the front straightaway. Congratulations to Cody Bias. What a run by that guy right there. He's got to be one very happy driver.
He will be, and we'll talk to him, the Infinite Creative Solutions entry. We'll hear from him after this. Right now, for iRacing Live and LSRTV, you're watching the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. Cody Bias, your winner in Texas. We'll talk to him right after this.
Truex in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it into 4, who's going to be into stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Welcome back to LSRTV and iRacing Live as we wrap up round number 1 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series, getting set to go trackside here momentarily. A wild night, and Justin Rosenau, before we head trackside, what a drive in those final laps for Cody Bias to grab the win, get it done. I mean, he was driving the wheels off that thing in the final laps.
Final laps, he did it the entire stint. In all honesty, I thought Cody Bias was going to use this stuff up earlier in the run because he closed some 2.5 second gap there did Cody Bias between the 88 of Josh Berry, and really you have to think, for him to go through and pull away to such an extensive win, 1 second from some 3 seconds or so down, that's 4 seconds in a run. I mean, that's almost a miracle in my opinion.
Well, we're going to hear exact what it was here in just a moment. We're going to start trackside tonight with Brian Macklin, who's caught up with the third place driver, the guy who was on the freshest tires at the tail end of this race. But Alan Bowes comes up just a little bit, Brian, short tonight.
Yeah, caught up with driver the number 21 machine, Alan Bowes. What an incredible race this was. Green flag from start to finish. And we saw a host of different strategies. We saw some guys doing 3 stops, some guys doing 4 stops. What was it like being out there with a massive tire fall off that we saw and having all those different strategies, trying to work around guys on old tires, and when you were the one on old tires, trying not to get in the way of the guys on fresh tires? What was that like tonight?
At times it was very, very, very scary when you were coming up on a guy or had a guy coming up on you when they were about a second faster. You really had to pay attention to where you were going. I can't thank the guys back at Dead Zone enough. They put together a great car this week. Dustin Lingard, Ian Plash, Houston Hamer, everybody as a team did really good this week, and hopefully we can carry this momentum forward on to Phoenix.
And that was actually my next question. Of course, you got a good finish to start off this season in the Pro Series, and next week we're going to the Phoenix International Raceway. And what are your chances there? Do you feel like you have a good car going into Phoenix, and do you think you can back up this race with a good finish, or possibly even go to victory lane?
Well, Phoenix is one of my favorite tracks, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. I didn't get to participate in the NASCAR Peak Free Series there, but last time around in the Pro Series, I was able to finish second after qualifying 40th. So, we'll have to see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to it, especially coming off of a third place finish. But, I'm sure we'll come back next week with the same speed that we had this week.
All right, and real quick before we let you go, of course, you already thanked a few of your teammates and friends. I want to give you a chance to give any sponsor shout-outs and other friends or family that you want to say hi to before we let you go.
I'd like to thank drakentech.com. If you guys need a good paint scheme, you guys can head over there, shoot him a message on Facebook at John Dragonetti. Got to thank RAR Chevette. I mentioned earlier, Ian Plash has really stepped up to the plate and put together a really good schedule for us, and Checker Flag Interactive. I've also got to thank a couple of my teammates, Blake Bryant, Logan Clampett, who unfortunately missed the race tonight, Brandon Hoff, Shane Doherty, and Jeff Ramsdell.
All right, that is Alan Bowes finishing third here tonight at the Texas Motor Speedway. Thank you, Alan, and good luck next week at Phoenix. Next, Anley Kessler, I do believe you have caught up with Mitchell Hunt, who finished right behind him in the 4th position.
That's right. I did catch up with the driver of the number 81, Mitchell Hunt. Mitchell, solid run. You ran up front a lot, led some laps here. The strategy is obviously a little bit different. You guys chose to go with the 4-stop strategy. Do you think it was all that off, or do you think just a few laps short from getting up there in the top 3?
For strategy, I think both worked out pretty close to the same. I really didn't have a pit strategy until I think Gilliland made the first pit stop, and then after that I came in behind him because tires were huge. I think there was like a 2-second gap in between fresh tires and old tires, so trying to get fresh tires and hoping you want to get caught trapped a lap down or something was kind of what you were looking for.
Now we talk about the tire fall off, and now obviously this is the first race for you guys in this series with the dynamic track. Talk about how that played a role here in searching for a grip, especially when you're on those older tires late in the run.
Oh yeah, late in the run it was really loose. It would get really loose depending on how you drove it. Beginning wasn't that bad. I think if anything it was a little tight in traffic. It was kind of hard to pass, so there was a couple tight pinches where I did on a couple people. I don't remember who they are, but as everyone kind of cycled through pit stops and everyone was on different tires, it kind of helped a lot with the passing. So you didn't have to worry about it too much after pitting.
We talked to Alan just a moment ago about coming through traffic with about 2 seconds or so difference in lap times with the fresh tires and without. And he talked about how scary that was going through that. How was your experience coming up on those guys that quick?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit hesitant to run up on a pack like that quick. Kind of helped though on some of the single cars that you had just kind of stranded out there. Kind of figure out a different line or two to reach ends, but there was definitely a huge difference between fresher and older tires.
Now you start off with a solid 5th place finish here this week at Texas. You're going to Phoenix next week. Obviously, a whole different package. You're now going to be on a short track, a little bit of a flatter surface. How do you like your team's chances speed wise going into the short track at Phoenix?
I think it's pretty good. We've always ran pretty well there in past seasons. Tonight we were all pretty much top 5 or whatever it was. I don't really know where we all ran, but we all were running pretty good and we're making fast race cars.
Well, you did it tonight. You came home with a 5th place finish. Sponsors, shout outs. Who'd you like to thank for getting you here tonight?
I don't have any sponsors or anything, so I don't do that thing. And yeah, just thanks to the team and everyone over HPM for. I know everyone spent a lot of time on the setup, so getting that tuned right.
Well, the setup worked out. You come home with a top 5 finish here tonight. Congratulations on that. And I believe Brian has now caught up with our 4th place finisher down there in pit road.
All right, I have caught up with finisher or driver of the number 42 machine, Dylan Duvall. Dylan, an incredible race for you tonight, and I haven't gotten to talk with you in a while, so this is going to be fun. This was 167 laps green flag from start to finish. How grueling was that, having to go out there and run that many laps from start to finish without a chance to take a breath or think or anything?
Thanks, Brian. It was difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Like these cars really fall off hard. Like we fall off like I think 2 seconds over 30 laps, and I mean they're definitely really really hard to drive once you get later into the run. So yeah, it was difficult to say the least.
Yeah, of course, we saw you guys really struggling with those cars over the course of the long run, and the different strategies certainly played a major factor into this, but a 4th place finish to kick off the Pro Series, that's got to look good for you and your hopes of getting back into the DWC Series. What are your chances, do you believe, to get into the DWC Series and maybe even win a couple of these races here in the Pro Series?
I mean, I've been overconfident. I've run this series 2 times before, and I've been overconfident both times and cost myself a spot in DWC. So I don't want to make that mistake again. So I'm not going to put any extra pressure on myself or anything like that. My only goal is to have no suspensions, clean races, don't get in any crashes, and I don't think I'll have any issue making DWC. I'm not really all that concerned about trying to get wins. I mean, if one comes, I'm not going to complain, obviously, but I don't know. It's just finishing the races are my number 1 priority.
Well, we certainly hope you wouldn't complain about going to victory lane. I think that's what everybody would love to do on a weekly basis. And before we let you go real quick, just want to give you a chance to give some sponsor shout-outs, any friends or teammates that you want to say hi to before we let you roll?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Brandon Hawk Racing. They're my primary sponsor this season. Go check out his Facebook page and get updates on some Canadian racing news and stuff like that. I'd like to thank Tim's Corner Motorsports. Infinite Creative Solutions. If you need a paint scheme, go check them out. They're great. Yeah, not trying to talk myself up, but iCar Racing League, great racing league on Thursday nights if you're looking for something to do. And obviously I can't thank everyone on HPM and the team enough for all the hard work they've put in this week. It's been really great, and it showed out there on the track today. I think we by far had the best cars out there. It was pretty great to see everything come together like that.
All right, Dylan, congrats on your 4th place finish. That was Dylan Duvall, driver of the number 42. And now, I believe, Justin Rosenau, you have caught up with driver of the number 88 machine, Josh Berry.
driver in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, doing very well in the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series. Josh Berry, driver of the Speedco number 88 Chevrolet, comes home runner-up tonight. You had the lead for a while. Did you guys make the wrong adjustment there on the last pit stop? What really kind of made your car fade just in the last 10, 15 laps or so?
I'm not really sure exactly. I think I got a little bit behind on adjusting. I had adjusted a little bit before, and I think Cody made a little bit better adjustments, just stayed with the track a little bit better there at the end, and probably used up my right rear a little bit coming through the traffic earlier in that run. I wanted to clear some cars fast and kind of get my own line there. So I think that ultimately probably hurt me a little bit at the end, but overall it was a really good run. I'm happy. I'm very happy with it. I can't thank everybody at HPM, the team, enough for giving me a fast car. I've been really busy the last couple weeks late model racing, so I haven't had a lot of time to put into it. But really got to give a lot of credit for them. You got fast cars, I can do the job.
Was it a team decision tonight, sending Mitchell Hunt on a 4-stop strategy, yourself on a 3-stop strategy tonight? Was it necessarily your call? Was it the team's call? What was really the difference in that call strategy?
Really, I think he just chose to do that himself. I'm not exactly sure what made him do it or not, but it turned out to be a pretty good call for Allen there at the end. He was a lap or two from getting second and probably about 5 or 6 laps from getting the win, so it was close. I think I just gave a little bit of time up on pit road, just trying not to make a mistake there because it had such a green flag look to it. I didn't want to make a mistake at speed or anything like that. So there's a couple little things I probably could have done better to maybe stay in front of Cody, but overall he really figured it out there that last run and kind of surprised me. I felt like he was going to kind of fall back once he got close to me, but he just kept digging and just got right around me.
Taking the momentum off of race number 1, you're a 2-time winner in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series, as well as getting a few wins here in the NASCAR Racing.com Pro Series in the past, and a former champion yourself the first year, 2010, in the K&N car. What's your outlook going into the season? Can HPM give you a car that's good enough to kind of put yourself back into iRacing.com's top series?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think that they can do that. I'm 100% confident in that, and I think there's a lot of good tracks coming up for me. Ultimately, I just got to keep out of trouble, and last year I was in the same situation here at Texas, running up front and got crashed right at the end and got a poor finish. So tonight, we got a second, but that's a good start, and just got to keep finishing these races. That's the hardest part about it. Phoenix is going to be a different animal. I've raced Phoenix on here for many years. I know how that race is going to be next week. It's going to be about staying out of trouble and being there at the end. So that's what we're going to try to do every week. And I know the cars will be fast. If we can do that, we shouldn't have any trouble.
Sponsors shout out. You can't do it by yourself. Who makes it happen for you on the 88?
It really just got to give all the credit to everyone at HPM, the team, for building an awesome setup tonight and helping me get up to speed, and Speedco for being on board. Been on board with the late model, even Xfinity car a couple months ago. So happy to be doing that again, and hopefully I'll be talking to you guys again soon.
That's the driver who finished second, your runner-up for the night, driving the number 88 Speedco Chevrolet. That's Josh Berry in the 88. And on down to Gatorade Victory Lane, Jacob Silman. You have a very happy Cody Bias.
I talked to him earlier today, and we were talking what this moment might feel like if he could get it done now. The Cody Bias number 27 machine is in Gatorade Victory Lane here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Kicks off the 2015 NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series with a victory, Cody. It was strategy. We didn't really know most of this race, whether 3 stops or 4 stops was going to get it done. It goes green all the way, and you end up out front when it matters. But you knew Alan Bowes was closing on you with fresh tires late. How hard were you driving this thing to hold him off and, really hold all the hounds off, because they were all better than you there at the tail end?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. As soon as that last run went green, I knew that we would have a shot at it. The 4-stop strategy, I felt, and my crew chief Justin Bolin felt, that the 4-stop would be definitely the way to go, just because we didn't think that 3 stops you would have enough time to catch back up. Luckily, we were right tonight, but it was definitely a challenge. The car was a handful to drive on exit later in the run, but since we got by Barry there with about 8 or 9 to go, I just knew I had to hit my marks and try to not look in my mirror at all, because I had Justin screaming in my ear how fast Bose was coming. So tried to do everything I knew how to do just to freaking keep the car straight. But it was just an awesome race. I'm so happy right now. I can't even explain it.
This is your first pro-level victory of any kind, whether it's here in the Pro Series or in the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series. And like I said, you and I were talking earlier today prior to the race, you know, that you thought you had a shot at it, but what this would mean to finally be able to go out, get it done like some of your teammates have done. I mean, the team has been on a rampage since the start of the year with Kenny winning the Peak Championship. Now you've got the opening win here in this Pro Series. I mean, before we talk about momentum, what does this mean to Cody Bias to finally ink your name with some of sim racing's greatest and say, okay, we're finally here?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, it just gives me goosebumps thinking about it. All of the years of all the hard work I've put into this, and I've been so fortunate to be with a great group of guys, with the team. It's just been unbelievable, the road to finally get a victory. We've been close a few times at Charlotte, and those stung incredibly hard, man. And I needed one just to get off my back, and I feel like with this finally off my chest and getting a win, getting a victory lane, that could be a freaking awesome ride from here on out. Just needed that confidence.
Well, it was a ride tonight, 167 green flag laps. We didn't see it coming. I don't know that any of you guys really saw it coming either. How grueling was this race between all the green flag pit stops, trying to weave through traffic and not having any yellow periods tonight to be able to let up? You were on go from the drop of the green flag at 10 after 9 tonight.
Oh, I was not expecting this to go green for 167 laps. Definitely not in the first race of the season, but it's awesome it did. I tend to do better in races that go green for a long period of time, but I just had to try to pace myself, man. That's the main thing with Justin telling me for first half of the race, and that they'll come to you, just take care of your stuff. And there was some part of the race, like the middle part of the race, where the car just wasn't there for me. We made a few adjustments towards the end that just helped us definitely after about 20-25 laps, and that's when we really started clicking off some good times. And it was just such a good long run car. That's something we struggled with at the end of the Peak Series, but it's good to see that we finally got something rolling here, and we can try to build off in a few races ahead.
You talk about momentum. This had it all year long. You were close on the Peak Series side. You've got one here now on the Pro Series side, and you're top of the points headed to Phoenix next week. But, you know, talking about this win, this all stems from the decision back just prior to the start of the Peak Series season when you left the team that you started to come over with Kevin King, Justin Bolton, these guys at the team. And it's paid every dividend you hoped it would. Now you're in victory lane. I mean, is there any sense of bittersweetness that it wasn't with your name on it, or is this the group of guys that you were hoping to hook up with and knew from the beginning that we could do this?
Well, I knew making that decision it would leave a lot of blood on my hands, but I mean, I feel it was the right decision. Everyone that I impacted from doing that has finally found a home, and they're all comfortable now everywhere. Coming over to the team, I felt that I had a lot to prove because I'm heading every layer, like you said, with like Kevin King, Kenny Humpy, all those guys, Chad Lawton, and you felt like you had to perform right away. And I felt like as a driver, I'm pounding the pedal. I'm just freaking trying to drive it harder than I should have. I mean, if I just would have kept my head straight, I felt like I could have ran top 5 every peak race or top 10 or whatever. But I just felt so much pressure as a driver, as a person, to try to prove myself to those guys. Because when I was with CBR, everyone knew that we were decent, but we weren't the top team. We were trying to work our way there, and all the hard work I put into that team, it feels so good to finally get somewhere. And I had to make a tough decision back then, and it just took a little while to finally pay off, and I'm glad it finally did.
It pays off. You get to finally run down the sponsor gauntlet, Cody. I know there's probably a lot of people that you need to thank. Who makes it happen for this 27 crew?
Well, first and foremost, I just want to thank everybody on the team and HPM for this awesome setup for this race. We spent the last 2 or 3 weeks nonstop trying to figure out what we were missing at the end of the Peak Series. And like I said, to come out here with a performance like that, I feel like we had a numerous amount of guys in the top 10 tonight. Just shows a lot about how hard we've worked, and hopefully we can carry it on for the rest of the year. Other than that, I also want to give a special thanks to Justin Bolton for being on the box tonight. He's the one who kept me calm and cool for 90% of the race. I was a mess coming to the final 10 laps or whatever, but he kept me cool. He had strategy right, and with all the feedback he gave me, it was awesome. It was finally cool to be back in victory lane. Also, I want to thank Dylan Duvall and Infinite Creative Solutions for the awesome looking car. It's awesome to get him in the victory lane. We've been longtime buddies for about 2-3 years now. I also want to thank Tim's Corner Motorsports because Tim's the man, to give that a check out. And other than that, just like I said, everybody on the team for all their hard work and their belief in myself as a driver and as a person. I mean, now we're one huge family, and I can't wait to get it rolling.
Well, it was rolling tonight. Cody, I'm going to repeat this. You're a NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series winner. Has it sunk in yet?
Oh, man, I don't think it will until I wake up tomorrow morning, man. I'm just going to try to enjoy every minute I can.
Cody Bias, finally down here in Gatorade Victory Lane, my friend. We'll see you in Phoenix. Not only are you a winner, hey, you're the points leader, too. That's got a nice ring to it. So we'll see you here in a week's time.
All right, Jacob. Thank you.
That's it down here from Gatorade Victory Lane. And a lot of things happening tonight and a lot of different caveats that played out during the course of this race. We'll take you through the final results right now. You heard from the top 5, starting with Cody Bias, the winner. Josh Berry comes up short. Alan Bowes, 3rd. Dylan Duvall, 4th. Mitchell Hunt, 5th. Brandon Schmidt, 6th. Adam Gilliland, 7th. Timu Evonen, 8th. Josh Lawton, 9th. Brian Day rounds out the top 10. Michael Johnson was 11th. Thomas Davis, 12th. Rob Ackley, 13th. Sasha Wessler rebounds to a 14th place finish. Benjamin Burmeister was 15th. Trey Edson was 16th. Tyler Laughlin, 17th. Timmy Hill, 18th. Nick Furler, 19th. Ryan Lowe was 20th. Greg McKinney, 21st. Dylan Rafferty, 22nd. Ryan Borges, 23rd. Billy Price, 24th. And Andrew Fash, 25th, the final car on the lead lap. Then it was Shane Doherty, Justin Trombley, Joey Israelson, Alex Warren, Kyle Putz was 30th, Damon Burnett 31st, Paul Kashiba, Dylan Jones, Blake Bryant, Brandon Hoff 35th, Byron Daly 36th, the 2 laps down 37th was Stephen Gilbert, Alex Scribner, Robin Williams, Jeff Ramsdell, Jason Jacoby 41st, then Danny Hansen 42nd, 12 laps down, not the way he wanted to start his Pro Series campaign, out of the race and finishing 43rd. Jacob Harberts, and this race, 250 miles, green flag from start to finish, took place in 1 hour, 25 minutes, and 13 seconds. It was a lightning quick pace, Justin Rosenau, and it was really a remarkable finish tonight.
Yeah, really remarkable in the fact that, a lot of guys have a lot of hopes and dreams pinned, and really, the best way to get yourself into the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze Series is to get it off on the right foot and to do it very well, and that's finish up front. And really, the guys desiring to do well, and really, tempers can flare no matter whether you're at an intermediate track, a short track, plate track, does not matter. So the fact that we went green to checkers is an absolute astonishment, and the first time I believe you said, Jacob, in a couple of years. What a great job by all 43 drivers in tonight's event.
Yeah, Ray, I mean, what a night it really was. Green to checker, great battle for the lead and the win throughout all stages of this race. Cody Bias takes it with 9 laps to go, goes on to win. And we go to Phoenix, where we know even more drama is going to happen next week, and get to bring your teammate Brian Blackford up into the booth here for a stint, too.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on tonight. It's pretty crazy, my first ever broadcast, and it goes green the whole way. So I get firsthand experience at how crazy it is, and how you guys basically didn't have any breaks, so you had to improvise the entire time. But thanks a lot for having me on. And yeah, Phoenix should be exciting with the dog leg and everybody cutting in 3 and 4 wide into turn 3. So I can't wait to watch it.
It's going to be fun to watch. Final from pit road, Andy Kessler, Brian Macklin. Andy, we'll start with you.
Yeah, we saw a lot of interesting strategies here on pit road tonight. I think it was great. Overall, not many mistakes by the top drivers. They all seemed to get it done the way they needed to. No mistakes. That's what it's going to take for all 10 races in order to get themselves in position for a championship. So a good start for a lot of these guys down here, and I'm sure next week we'll be seeing a lot more strategy on pit road, especially when we go short track racing.
Phoenix is going to be a very interesting track. I don't think we're going to see the caution-free race that we saw here tonight at Texas. Phoenix is a lot tighter. You're going to see a lot more beating and banging, and more than likely you're going to see quite a few cautions and maybe even see some tempers flare. I'm really excited to see what the strategy is going to be for the drivers that in that race next week. You're not going to see them doing the strategy that we saw tonight because, again, I don't expect to see this thing stay caution-free next week. I like the chances of Cody Bias and Dylan Duvall and the rest of those guys for the team. They had a very strong performance here tonight, and I think they made a statement tonight. I think they're going to go out there for the rest of this Pro Series and certainly be the guys to beat, and it's going to make it really hard for the rest of these guys if they're going to go out there and win some races.
It is going to be, and we head to the desert, Phoenix International Raceway. In 1 week's time, we'll be here on Tuesday night to make it all happen again, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time. The pre-race show, green flag, just after 9 p.m. Eastern Time for round 2 of the NASCAR iRacing.com Pro Series powered by iRacing. Right now, though, the night belongs to Cody Bias, the Infinite Creative Solutions number 27 ends the night in victory lane. Congratulations to a maiden iRacing.com Pro Series winner for all of us at iRacing Live and LSRTV, including Evan Pasoko, Justin Rosenau, Ray Alfala, Andy Kessler, and Brian Macklin down on pit road tonight, and our executive producer, Laura Lawson. I'm Jacob Seelman for LSRTV, reminding you to keep it off the wall until we meet again. And hey, next time, we might just see you on the web. Same time, same place, 1 week's time. We're in Phoenix. Until then, good night from Texas.